I thought it was going to be, despite the fact that, I had been in school for such a long time, so I wouldn't be in this position. My son was in private school. He was also in daycare. My rent was high. And so I was invited to this rap party. It was crazy because 4 years ago, like, it wasn't all over Facebook. Had no idea really what it was. And I normally didn't get to invited to parties like that. Like, I've never been to like a Mary Kay party or anything, but whatever. But this girl invited me, and I'm just the kind of person who just supports people just because it's just like my role. And she sent me a message and it was like $25 to rap. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I will try this rap, because if it really tones, tightens, and firms your skin, that would be awesome, because I gained 50 pounds when I was pregnant with my son. And so I was like, look, I got some excess I would love to get rid of. So went to the party and had the wrap on, because of course, I hadn't seen my results yet. I had decided I was going to wear it just a little bit longer, not too long, because I do have eczema, and so I was kind of leery of making sure that it doesn't break my skin out or anything like that. And so, because I mean, it was all natural, but who knows? So I didn't know for sure. So I'm listening to the story of the lady who's telling her story about the business, and she was a nurse practitioner. Her husband was the general manager at Deerbergs. They had 2 kids, and they were making $15,000 a month in the company. And so imagine I'm sitting on this couch and I'm this girl who literally, I'm talking about, this probably the last $25 to my name, and I'm really just being really nice and giving it to her, and I really don't have money like that. And then on top of that, like, I'm in grad school for a master's. I don't want just to make ends meet. Like, really, like, my life was hectic. Like, I wasn't even really caring about the fact that my life was hectic, because I was just looking for any type of solution to my issues. So, like, for real, grad school was a solution to my issues. Like, because at the time, I was a single mom who was working in social services. So I worked for BJC, and I was a mental health case manager, a children's mental health case manager. And then on top of that, I was also doing hair on the side. So I did hair. So like, my weekends were completely consumed with hair. I was in grad school part-time. My son was in soccer at the time. And then I also had duties at church. So like, my every single day was filled with something, but I didn't think about that. I was just more so thinking about the fact that they make $15,000 a month. And if this thing really works, I can make 500. I just saw opportunity. Like, I was an opportunist. That was it. No one really hassled me at the party. Like, I think she really wanted me as a loyal customer, but I left. And I had amazing results. And my results were crazy, but I told her I was going to sign up. I don't think she believed me. She never followed up with me or anything. The following month, I got my refund from school, and I signed up. Like, I was in class when I did it. I was in class, and I signed up, and she called me like, "Oh my God, did you just sign up?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, so it's crazy. She actually quit 2 months into the business, because she signed the same month that I signed, just at the beginning, or she signed the month before, one or the other. But anyway, she quit 2 months into the business. We both went Ruby, and then she quit. And I had to figure it out. So from there, but let me say, I jumped in, made $400 in my first 2 weeks in Rap Cash. So back then, you want to talk to everybody, and I needed my money back, because I didn't just invest that money for no reason. Like, I needed my money. And so I was telling everybody I knew about it. My launch parties were amazing, but I got my 4 loyal customers before I even had my launch party, because as soon as my kit came in, I was rapping any and everybody that I could. I used to be the rap girl who never had raps and couldn't rap myself, because that's how much I rapped other people. Like, I could not keep them for myself. And I was actually scared to rap myself, because I didn't want to be without raps. Like, I didn't want to be the rap girl who was out of supply. Like, somebody was like, "Hey, Rachel, can you come rap me?" And I'm like, I just put the last rap on myself. Like, heck no. So I didn't rap myself for a while after that. But luckily, I had my results from the first time I did rap. So being in the mental health world and just like loving to help other people, that was my thing. Like, that was my passion. And I realized quickly after one of my first distributors, who was my friend in high school, her son is autistic. And we just had general conversation about how she needed to cut back her hours in order to take her son to more therapy, but she couldn't do it because cutting back hours means less money. And so I realized, like, if I can help my friend make money in this business, not only will it help her, but I won't be left out. And that was just like a huge light bulb for me, because I loved helping people. It's what I was made for. And if I could help people and it works, I could be compensated very highly. And that was amazing, because in social services, you help people every single day and they don't pay you an extra dime at all, like at all. And so I kind of took it and ran with it from there. Shortly after that, went diamond, double, triple. We've earned over $240,000 in bonuses, and the rest is history. Once I really committed myself to this business and what it was all about, like, no one could stop me. There were different ahas I've had along the way, especially like when I lost my diamond bonus. It made me realize that my business is my business, and I can't blame anything on anybody but myself, and I can't depend on anyone to care more about my paycheck than me. And it was just so happened that Mark bought Bring Back the Good the next month, and so I was able to get it back, and I haven't lost a bonus since. So that was probably one of a turning moment in my business. But there's so many things that I've learned along the way, especially with not having an upline. We had to figure it out. If we wanted to do it, we had to figure it out. And so I couldn't make any excuses in terms of who was helping me and what was helping me, because I didn't sign up for my upline. Let's just be honest. I didn't. She got lucky, to be honest, because she couldn't, as an ambition person, like inspirational, she wasn't it. It was just me seeing an opportunity that could change my life and me deciding I'm going to run with it. So, yeah, she got blessed, but ended up quitting when she could be making a lot of money. But that's on her. It's actually somebody we actually still see all the time too. But yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. I could go way more into detail, but the gist was just me deciding and committing myself that I was really going to do this, and not stopping, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I love that point, how I think our stories are a little bit similar in that we were in career-worthy jobs, busting our butts, but not being compensated for it. Like we did the right things that we were supposed to do. We went to school. Hey, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. So we went to school, and
I hear you.
We were working every day, 9 to 5, busting our butt, but not being compensated like we felt we should be compensated. We were still broke. We were still living paycheck to paycheck. So, like I joined for an extra $500 to pay for daycare. So we weren't on a tight budget. So I love the fact that you talk about how you didn't have an upline. You joined with this girl and she got lucky. Too bad she's not still in the business, because she would be making some money. But, you decided that you were going to make this work. And back then they didn't I've heard that you guys didn't have Facebook pages with all these tips and things and whatnot. So can you kind of talk about like how you started, like how you decided to just jump in, and what was like your starting point? Like, what would you tell a new distributor who is just starting the business to how to get those first 4 customers, or how to get those first distributors?
So my fourth customer actually did something that's non-compliant. So I'm not gonna, but I didn't know, because of course I didn't have guidance. So I offered an incentive, and that's how I got my fourth customer. It's so funny when it pops up on my time hop, I'm like, don't do that. That's not right. But I would post. I actually use my social media. So I would post on my social media so that other people outside of the people who are around me could know what it was that I had to offer. Because of course, like, if you don't tell it, if you don't open up your mouth, they don't know. And so I would post before and after pictures on my website and talk about how excited I was. I was like pretty much brainwashed to believe that this was my opportunity and I was going to be a millionaire, and they needed to support me. And so it was what I talked about all the time. Like, for example, I joined on June 18th. And on July 4th, like, we had people over for the 4th of July. And that is when I planted seeds in my first 2 distributors' heads. So, well, my husband didn't have a choice. So he was automatic. He was an automatic distributor. But there were other people who were there who ended up being on my team. But I was just excited. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, look, I'm about to make $1 million and all this. And they were just like, maybe she's on to something. And so I just began to start to breathe It Works. And I think that's the thing. People don't take on the ownership of It Works and what it is and really feed into it. Because you got to think, like, nobody wants somebody who's half doing it. If you're half doing it, then how is it going to work for me? Especially somebody who half does something is going to get a half results. And so that was it, really. And just parties. So I would book parties. I had parties every weekend until people stopped coming to my parties. And then I started to host, have people host parties for me. And then I started launching my distributors. So parties was like a big way of how I got started and really going, but then also bringing in the social media aspect of letting other people out there know. So I did reach out to my hundreds list about being loyal customers initially, but my first 4 loyal customers, well, my first customer was a friend of mine, like back when I was in elementary. She saw a post online, some before and afters, and she decided, okay, I need to try that. And what's crazy is she still is my loyal customer now, even after doing like Beachbody and all this other stuff. She still buys the wraps, and every time there's a BOGO, she falls in love. She just tried the cleanse, which is crazy because that was 4 years ago. I think my second loyal customer was my high school track coach, and he saw a picture online and had me come wrap him and became a loyal customer. So not only did he give me 25, but he also became a loyal customer after that. And then my 4th loyal customer was like one of my sorority sisters, but that was like not her just wanting to support me. It was like the incentive. So she got an incentive for signing up. Don't do that. And then the other one was somebody I rapped. So most of those people were people that I rapped. The people who were supposed to support me, who were the closest to me, they weren't my loyal customers before my party. I did sign loyal customers at my party, but I had my 4 loyal customers prior to that. So the rest of them became loyal customers at my launch party. So.
Yeah, I think what I love about you is you are partying, and you get out there and you schedule these parties for your distributors. You make them do a launch party, and whether there's 1 person there or 10 people there, it's like you're having a blast. And so kind of explain like how you go about having your party. Because I think a lot of people think they have to have like 50 people there, but if you can get 1 or 2 people in the room, you can seal the deal with those 2 people, and you can have 2 loyal customers. So kind of explain how you go about having your parties.
So the party is, I think the biggest thing is people just can't make a big deal out of it. I think people feel like, because I was never the party host type person either, at all. Like I would have get-togethers, like people just coming over, but I never like was the party hoster. And so my thing was like this is my why. I have something great to offer other people, and I'm able to, and then my hustle mentality popped in, and it was like, okay, listen, if you wrap 5 people at this party, you're going to walk away with $125 in your pocket so that you can pay for your water bill next month. And so I loved Rap Cash from the beginning because it was immediate money. And so it's non-negotiable, because I know that at parties, not only can I make Rap Cash, but then it also gives me the opportunity to put the rap on people, so that I can ensure that they're actually wearing the rap. And then I get to close and seal the deal so that they're getting kind of like a after plan. So you know how like when you go to the doctor, you have to follow a plan afterwards. Like you're able to sit down and create a plan for them afterwards, so that after the rap they can continue with whatever journey that they're trying to do. So to me, it's not a really big issue. It's just a culture. So you have to just create the culture of this is what we do, and you're just required, and I say required loosely because clearly everybody can do whatever they want to do, but my recommendation, and you sign with me because you trusted that I was the one who was able to help you make money, is that you have at least 2 parties within your first 30 days. And so sometimes they only get 1, but a party is a party. And so we just said it, and it's pretty cool because we do the first party, and then the second party we come and we support and we watch them do it, so that we know that they know what they're doing. So I mean, it's not, but now one big thing is that I invited like my entire phone book. You have to invite everybody, because if not, you will legit have 1 person there and then you'll be pissed, but you only invited 5. So you can't be too mad.
Right. Okay. Somebody just asked about, like, how do you feel about online parties?
So I will do online parties and I do them every once in a while, but I'm not a big online partier. Just because if they're local, I don't, if people are within like a 4 hour radius of me, like I did maybe last month or the month before last, I actually went to Memphis to watch some girls. It just, if I can get in front of you, I know I can make a bigger impact. And that's just me. Some people can make a huge impact online, but that's just not my forte. So I feel like it's whatever works for you. Now I do online parties, and I have closed people from online parties, but I close more people in person than I do online. And for me, just being who I am, I like to walk away with grab cash and money in my pocket. It makes me feel accomplished, especially somebody who used to do hair. And so, well, I still do hair, but not really. But, you know, you like that immediate cash after you do what you're doing. And so it gives me that fulfilling, accomplished feeling. Like I love my customers, but at the end of the day, when I can walk away with $50 and, you know, treat dinner for the night or something like that, it just makes me feel good. So, I mean, at an online party, you can't necessarily do that. I mean, unless you're like sending wraps in the mail, but you know, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, like, what is your process for, like, how do you seal the deal with a distributor now? Like, when you have a potential distributor, where do they usually come from? Are they coming from social media? And what is your, like, process with them? Are you messaging them? And then kind of like, what's your conversation?
So now it's a little different because most of the distributors I'm signing are not necessarily people I'm really acquainted with. You know, before it was like my warm market, and so these are people that I really knew. But now the people I'm signing is crazy. The girl I just talked to today, who signs tomorrow, I met her at the Motherhood store. So it's crazy. Most of the people who I'm signing now are blitzes, whether they're online or in person. I really like blitzing in person and then adding them to my social media and then tapping into not only their network, but building that relationship online. It's kind of just easier for me because we have that familiarity because I saw you, I blitzed you, and now you get to see what my life is really all about. And you can see I wasn't lying when we were talking during the blitz. But it really just depends on the person. Since they are like somebody that I really don't know, I have a video that I send them that kind of elaborates on the business a little more because you want something that can be duplicated and not where you have to get on three ways and say the same stuff over and over and over again. So the video explains, and I actually learned this from Eric Worre. I don't know if you follow him at all, but the video explains the business and kind of the details of the business, but it's not too long. And then afterwards, I'm able to go over what they really liked about the video and then answer any questions that they have or concerns they have from there. So it just makes it easier for me because once I'm here, I can't take everybody's three-way call. You know, I can't. Your team becomes so big that you have to create a duplicated process. So it really helps for me. So I'll add them on social media, send them or get their number, send them a video, and then we follow up and talk about it. And then we it kind of goes back and forth in terms of exposures until they're really ready. And then I sign them up. So I don't care if I just met you or whatever. Like I just sent this girl everything that I need to put her in the system. So, and if she's uncomfortable, then we will do a phone call. I don't typically like to send people to my website because that's how VIP distributors and loyal customers occur, because you send them to your website and they just went to the regular website or missed the letter or something like that, and then you missed out on the loyal.
Yeah, no, I totally agree I love all of that. And I love the video idea. I've heard of other people doing videos, but I love being able to like share that with your teammates. And so they can send that to people too. So I think that's like a great idea. I just wrote that down. And it's so legit true that Rachel blitzes people like on the regular. And it's because she's she's confident in herself and confident in her business. The night that I met her, we were, like I said, in St. Louis, and we were at a bar, and we went to the bathroom together, and there was this girl in the bathroom, and like we were just washing our hands, and she says, "Hey, you'd be so awesome at what we do." And like the girl was like, Okay, I don't know if Rachel remembers this, but the girl's like, okay, you know, and like Rachel added her on Facebook right there in front of my face.
Oh no, I remember. She still hasn't accepted my friend request. Yeah. She still hasn't accepted my friend request, but she's still on my follow-up list. So like they're still, the messages are still there. So it's crazy. So eventually she's gonna answer me.
And I love it. I mean, you just made it seem like so seamless. It wasn't like, hi, I'm Rachel Whigham and I'm with It Works Global. Like you just talked to her like a person, you know? So I love how you just simply talked to her and brought up the business. And so, I mean, that's like definitely a goal of mine, is to be more confident in talking to people in person that I don't know. So I kind of want to get into like more like inspirational stuff, because you just light my fire all the time. So I want you to talk to the person who has just joined the business, you know, maybe as a month in, 2 months in, 3 months in. If they even have an ounce of doubt of what It Works is, like, I just want you to like confirm to them and show them a vision of like what is possible. Like just kind of give them that, light their fire.
Okay, so I don't, you know, for me initially in the beginning, it was more so my opportunity and what this business could do for me. And I think that's one of the biggest things when people jump in. It's like, well, why are you here? Like, you know, that's a big thing in the beginning. So if your upline, your sponsor, whoever, if they didn't hassle you for a why, I would call them and be like, or text them and be like, you suck. Because now I'm kind of lost and I don't really know why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing. And I don't have any passion for what I'm doing. So when I started, like, you couldn't tell me anything. Why? Because this person, like, I had a belief system. So my belief was, if you can make $15,000 a month, I can make 500. And so I realized that I had to open my mouth, because if I could not make $500 a month and they're making 15,000, something is legit wrong with me, because that's a lot of money. And so I had a burning desire that I didn't care who or what was going on around me or who believed or whatever, because I had to pay for tuition. So my why was really big. So I would say the first thing is to just reevaluate, why in the world are you doing this? Like, are you doing it because your bestie's doing it, or are you doing it because I don't know, whatever reason you're doing it, you have to find something that's deep enough that no matter who's doing what, you're going to continue. Because at the end of the day, when my team isn't functioning, when my upline isn't doing what she's supposed to be doing and leading by example, I still have to pay tuition. And so this is my ticket to pay tuition. Outside of that, you know, show me the money. I always tell people this, show me the money got me to be a top earner. Why? Because every Monday I listen to that call, and it just reinforced my belief. Like, that is what made me really believe. Hearing the different stories from people coming from all different backgrounds, like, there was no excuse. Whether you're a nurse, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you are pregnant with 4 kids, like, it gave me ammunition for everything, for me to really believe that this business could work for anybody. And if it can work for them, then there is nothing special about them, and it can work for me too. I just have to work the business. So that would be another thing. And then getting to events, because when I went to my first conference, it's funny, it popped up on my time hop today. My first conference was Freedom, and it was 2014. So I've actually been to 4 conferences already. It was in 2014. Wait, 4, 2, 3. Okay, whatever. But it was my first conference, and that opened up my eyes. Like, you know, it's crazy because people say you get to conference and you'll just have like this awesome moment, but it's real. Like, it's really real. And I was at this event, and it just, the electricity in the building, being around these like-minded people, the stories, like, it just made me feel like I could do anything. Like, you're around all these crazy people who really believe, and as a result, you feed off of their belief. And so if you don't really believe right now, who can you attach to that has a belief that's higher than yours, so that your belief will become impeccable, because then you can eventually become that for somebody else. But until you have it, who's the craziest person who just is that crazy rap girl who no one can tell them anything? That's the person that you need to hang around, because that's the person who's never going to let you feel sorry for yourself, who's always going to tell you that you can do it, and is going to push you beyond your limits. last thing is, another thing I learned is that if I was comfortable, it wasn't a good thing. Like, it wasn't. Like, if I'm in a place of comfort where I'm not nervous when I'm doing something, whether it's a rap party or something like that, I'm not growing. And if I can't grow, I can't grow my paycheck. And so you have to realize that too. If you're comfortable, then you're going to stay at the and when I say comfortable, this is the big thing. Like, comfortable is really not comfort. Like, I don't know if people realize that. Like, you think you're comfortable in your lifestyle right now, but honestly, you wouldn't have joined the business if you were comfortable. So a lot of times people get used to the fact that they're in poverty, or they get used to being paycheck to paycheck. And as a result, they're not willing to step out of that, what they know is comfortable, in order to get to a different spot. So realize that your comfort is not really comfort, and you have to change what you're doing in order to get somewhere where you can really truly be comfortable. So yeah.
I love that. I was going to ask you, to talk about events a little bit, because, that is really where you are going to see a vision for the company, and you're going to know that you are with a company who is legit. It's real. The morals and integrity is solid. I know a lot of people we're getting ready to, and they're getting ready to announce conference, and it is an investment. You are going to have to pay some money to get there, but can you just explain how worth it is? I mean, I went from being a diamond in January to a triple diamond right after conference. So, that's just how much you can grow in that time span. So can you kind of explain like why it's important to get to conference?
Yeah. So when I went to conference, I was a Ruby. I was a Ruby, but I wasn't getting paid as a Ruby. Like, I was legit a distributor. Like, I was getting paid as a distributor. I remember my check was enough just to pay my installments, to pay off my my ticket for conference. I had to ask my grandma to buy my plane ticket because I didn't have any money. And then my sugar daddy, my boyfriend, Brian, he actually ended up paying for our hotel room because I didn't have it. And then when I got down there, I didn't have any money for real. Like, probably had like $20 to my name. So I couldn't afford conference. Like, I legit couldn't afford it. But I knew that I had to get there because I wanted to change my life. They just kept talking about, you get there to change your life, you get there to change your life, whatever. So I got there. And when I was there, my eyes were open to so many different things, like you said. And I came home from conference, and in 3 months is when I hit diamond. And that was even after the separation from the people above me and not knowing what in the world I was doing. And then from there, I had the month after that was probably the highest volume I had since I had joined It Works. I was in the position, I think, like 30,000 in volume, and hadn't went double diamond yet. And then what's crazy is that double diamond chart, like when I went double diamond, I had a completely different chart. So I had got boxed in for double diamond, did not go. And then when I actually went double diamond, it was a completely new chart of people who took me to double diamond. So the event was like pivotal, like for the direction of my vision when it came to where I was going. I remember back then they did a panel that changed Breon's perspective, because it was a panel of husbands and wives. And so it was like 3 different people. I know Lori Conway was on it, and Quentin talked about how, being a banker and not really thinking this business was all that. And then Lori bringing home that check, and he's like, oh my gosh, like this is real life. And he's like, if a banker can see the potential in this business, why can't I? So it was just the whole belief factor was just way more than we even imagined. I guess you can say, you go to conference and you won't even, I remember going to conference, and on that Thursday night, the fact that we were having praise and worship kind of like blew my mind, because what organization or what business can you be a part of, or what job can you be a part of where they do praise and worship? Like, yeah, right. Like, that was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the right place because you guys love God just as much as I do. And that kind of like blew my mind. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just said the same thing to my dad this weekend, and I was like, the night before conference, they have a worship service. Like, who does that? Like, nobody does that. And, that worship service it's amazing. If you're not a believer, after that worship service, you're going to be thinking hard about it, because it is so powerful. But I really want to talk about, I love how you talked, that you said, that double diamond chart, the double diamond chart completely changed. So let's talk about, to the people who said, well, I built a whole team and just everybody quits or nobody does anything. I don't even know who was on my original diamond chart. Like, I would have to pull it out and look at it. So let's talk about how people come and people go, but you keep going.
Well, the reason why we have this, you have to think about, why do we have the steps to success? I think that's the biggest thing that most people don't realize. Like, our steps to success was implemented for a reason. And once you realize that, it can help you grasp the concept of the business just a little more. And so I tell my team all the time, oh, this person isn't doing anything. You know what? If you focus on the 4 and 3, you'll be fine. We do 4 loyal customers and 3 distributors for a reason. And so if you're not bringing in 3 new people to work with every single month, and you're still banking on somebody you signed 3 months ago, that's your fault, because you're not completing the steps to success. People are going to drop off. I always go back to the statistic of the 999. I signed 50 people, and I legit probably have about 8 that are working out of the 50. And I mean, like, really trying out of the 50. And so if I can sign 50 and only 8, imagine what signing only 3 every single month. What is the rate of workers that you're going to get out of the 3? So think about it like that. Like, we do the steps to success for a reason, and it was implemented for a reason. And then also take people on a 6-week journey. I always tell people that too when it comes to my newbies, because you have to give them an opportunity to grasp what it means to be an entrepreneur. Think about it. Like, when people start this business, we are employees. Like, we are embedded to be employees. Like, it's just what we know. It's what we were taught. It's what we've learned. And so you have to teach them how to be an entrepreneur, unless they just have that red winner characteristic, which a lot of people just don't have, that go-getter attitude. And so you have to, when you go to a job, they're going to tell you the task that you have to do. And then they're going to follow up with you, because if you don't do it, you're in trouble, right? So give them tasks, and then you have to follow up with them and have some type of accountability, because they're not used to being their own accountability partner. They're not used to not having somebody come and check up behind them and ensure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So even like in the beginning, like, I'll sit down with a newbie and just be like, okay, so I told you yesterday to send 50 messages. Let's pull up your phone and let's go through them. And they're like, oh shit. Like, yeah, they need that accountability until they can be their own accountability partner who says, okay, you know what, I said I was going to send 100 messages. This is my why. And so I need to do it without somebody breathing down my back, because I want to do this. So, yeah.
I love it. I think, once you understand that, understand that people are going to quit on you, but that doesn't determine whether you're successful or not. Like, you're in charge of your success in your business. There's nothing stopping you. So
it's not quitting on you. I think that's the biggest thing that people have to realize. They're not quitting on you. They don't care less about you. They're quitting on themselves. And so that's the biggest thing to realize as well. Like, it's nothing personal. This is business. It's not personal. And so, oh my gosh, I got a fly in here. Sorry. It's business and not personal. So once you take away the personal part of it, you can really grasp what this business is all about. So just because your best friend came in and they decided that they didn't want to do this business for real like you do, is not a personal pun towards you. It's their issue and it's their loss. And so that's how I kind of see it. You have to look at it a little differently too, because this is not a sorority part. Like, it's not a sorority organization. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so how would you, if one of your distributors came to you and said, well, everybody is just so negative. Nobody, I have all these haters who don't support me. Like, what would you say to that distributor?
So the biggest thing that I would share is that birds of a feather flock together. Initially, when I first started this business, my circle wasn't going to elevate me higher. They just weren't. Like, in all honesty, most of them, I really could care less that they never became loyal customers. and a lot of them, to be honest, 4 years later are still in the same spot that they're in. And so you also have to think about, like, is God trying to take you to a higher level and surround you with new people who can take you to another level? And so if people are haters, all that stuff, well, first of all, like, if somebody is a hater, why in the world would you even want to be around them? Like, that doesn't even make sense. What is wrong with you that you're okay being around with people who talk to you like this and talk negative about something that you're doing? I don't care if I want to go and be a dog walker. Like, you better support the mess out of me. And if you're not, then we're not cool. Like, you are not my friend. And you cannot call yourself my friend, and you cannot get any of my time. And so 9 times out of 10, when people come in, they have to realize their self-worth, and they have to understand that the people that they're around and they're surrounding themselves with aren't the people that they should be around anyway. Like, you should have been let them go. When they read Go Pro, which is by Eric Worre, that's the first book I have everybody who comes in read. When they read it, he talks about how, that lack of support from your friends and family. I'm telling you, sometimes family is going to say some stupid, nasty stuff to you. But at the end of the day, being family is not an excuse to treat you some type of way. And I think that's a big thing too. People think that they have to take stuff from people because they're family or because they're your best friends. But you don't have to take, God didn't put you on this planet to be disrespected like that. Like, that's not, he didn't surround you with people who are supposed to disrespect you so you can sit around and just deal with it. That's not why he put us here. And so you have to figure out that I am worth more, I deserve more, and as I become better and I realize I'm not going to do that to you, you can start your paparazzi business tomorrow, and I'm not going to treat you like that. So as a result, you need to let those people go and elevate yourself to find a new circle. So that's my biggest thing. If I could care less if people have something negative to say about me, I just need to get them out of my circle. Like, you have to go. You can't be my friend and talk about me like this.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Okay, so let's talk about I think people hear us preach about being consistent a lot. Can you talk about how important it is to work your business daily and how important it is to be consistent in what you're doing?
So consistency is everything. If you're not consistent, it's going to fall off. It's people aren't going to take you seriously. I think that's one of the biggest things. If I went to a doctor who didn't practice all the time, especially in the beginning, I probably wouldn't want you to be my doctor, because your knowledge is kind of like all over the place. Like, how can you be a doctor who comes straight into the field from school and you don't go to work every day and you think you're going to tell me something about my symptoms and things like that? So consistency is big. Like, if somebody goes to your Facebook page and they don't, because what I tell people all the time is we function differently than everybody, like real life. People come in, should I make a business page? And it's like, no, because we don't do that. We are not separate from our lives. Like, if I'm a rap girl, I'm a rap girl. Like, it's not Rachel's life and her rap business. It doesn't work like that. Like, I am a part of my brand. And so if people can go to your page and they don't see anything about product, they don't see you using the product, don't see you talking about the product, why in the world would I buy from you? And we know people buy people, not product. So you have to think, like, if you don't really like the product, if you're not really using the product, then you're probably not the best threat for me, because you probably can't help me out the way that I need to be helped. And then it comes to planting your seeds. You got to think, you plant your seeds and then you water them. If you don't water them, guess how? I always tell you this all the time. People and they actually talked about this the other day. I don't even know. Jesus, I can't remember where. But somebody was talking about how, like, when people plant seeds and you don't water them, or you might do like a sprinkle, you might follow up with them like once or twice. Oh, I remember, it was last night. So you might follow up with them once or twice, and you don't keep following up with them. You just planted a seed for somebody else to harvest, like real life. And I'm going to be the one that comes along and is going to harvest it. And I'm going to sign that person, and they could potentially change my life when they could have changed your life. But your lack of consistency and you getting discouraged because you don't understand the process of having to follow up with people several times. They say it's 8 to 10 exposures before most people will sign up. You stopped at 2. Some of you guys stopped at 1 because they told you no, or something like that. And no always means not right now. It's crazy. some of the people that I'm signing now, I've legit been talking to for 4 years. And if I would have stopped talking to them, somebody else would have came along and signed them. So you have to be okay with the process and being consistent in terms of that. So even like when people come in and they're so excited about being a distributor, and then that happens for maybe about 2 weeks, maybe a month. And then next month, because they're not getting the results that they want, they're all of a sudden dying down. You are no longer legit to me. Like, it's more so like I knew you were going to quit. Like, some people over here praying for your demise, and you just proved them right. Like, you proved to them that you weren't really about this anyway, and you didn't really care about helping people really. And so as a result, you know, you weren't a real rap girl. And so I knew you were going to quit. So think about it like that too. You know, if you're not consistent, you don't even give yourself the opportunity to see the payout. You know, you don't give yourself to actually reap the harvest by planting all the seeds. You know, you message your entire friends list, and then next month you're not doing the business. Guess what? Somebody else is going to come along, and that's going to be their follow-up. So consistency is everything.
Yeah, I love it. And, you know, I think that if you're serious about making this business work for you and your why is like big and you really want this, like you said, like when people come in and they say they do, you have to take quitting off the table. Like, it just can't even be an option. It can't be an out for you because you'll take it. So, you know, I can't, I mean, I can't even handle the quitters. So like, you know, how would you?
Well, yeah. Well, you know, in the beginning, like what was really big for us is, I don't know, I used to say this all the time when I first started. They used to have like pictures that was up that was said, give us a year and it'll change your life. And so that's kind of embedded in my head. This is not a business that you see. I mean, people see returns right away for a lot of people, but even for me, like if I would have stopped after a few months and not getting the results that I wanted, I wouldn't be here. And so you have to, at least when you come in, say, you know what, I'm going to give it a year. I'll give it a real, and when I say give it a year, that means like full-fledged year of you actually trying. I was telling my team, you know, we don't try, we do. But you have to have a full year of you doing, and then you can say it didn't work. Like a full year of you actually doing and committing yourself. Because a lot of times people come in and they half do it. If you half do it, you get half money. Like, it is what it is. And so you should say, well, I'm on a 1-year plan, and I'm going to see after a year if this thing really works for me by giving it my all. And then after a year, then okay, I can say it just didn't work out for me. But it's not let me give this a month, see if I can make some money. Like, this is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not. If it was, it wouldn't stay along as it wouldn't have any longevity if it did. So I could care less about quitters, to be honest. I'll follow up with you in a little bit, see if you want to be a customer again or try again. But that's not my issue. It's not. It's not. I mean, I give them a spiel. I give them a talk, you know, encourage them. Because a lot of times what I like people to do is rationalize why you're quitting. Like, a lot of times your quitting has nothing to do with the business. It has nothing to do with the products. It's you. You didn't really try. And that's, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the saying floating around that I made. Don't tell people it didn't work. You tell them you quit, because that's real life. Like, don't tell people that my business doesn't work. Don't at all. Like, do not speak bad about what I do. You tell people the truth that you quit. You legit quit. You didn't try. You quit. And so I want people to say that. Like, when you're quitting, I want it to be you want to quit. Not that the business didn't work. You decided that you didn't want to do it. You didn't want to take my advice. You didn't want to step outside your comfort zone. And as a result, you're quitting. Not that the business doesn't work.
Yeah, see, that's the Rachel I love right there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I just wrote that down. If you half do it, you get half money. I love it. And I say the same thing. Like, you have to.
I was just to say that you can't be an undercover rap girl if you're going to make real rap girl money. It doesn't work like that. You cannot be undercover. I'm just sitting here like, you really think you can make the kind of money I make and you're undercover? Like, you cannot. You're not going to make the kind of money I make. I'm excited about being a rap girl. If you need to be undercover and hide it from your friends to make 5 figures a month, then you don't care about making 5 figures a month. It was crazy. I was talking to this potential for somebody on my team the other day, and she was on the fence after like saying she gave somebody all her information, And then she had a conversation with her mom's best friend and was like, well, I'm not doing it anymore because my mom's best friend said blah, 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 blah. And I was like, hold on a second. Wait a second. I said, how much money does your mom make? I mean, your mom's friend make? And she was like, I was like, but does she make, I'm just gonna say 6 figures. Does she make 6 figures a year? No. Why are you listening to her? Like, why? She's broke. Like, she can't help you. She can't help you here. So you have to be mindful of the people that you're listening to anyway. Like, clearly, I know what it is that I'm doing, and I'm confident in my ability in order to help you make money. You just have to be willing. And so, I mean, I'm okay with saying that. Like, I'm that person that's okay with throwing it in your face that I make good money from what I do. You just don't trust the process, and you're sitting over here listening to these people who are broke as hell. Like, they don't have no money, but yet you find their opinion more important than somebody who's actually trying to help you get out of the situation where you are. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree. Like, when I first joined, like, I would sit there and listen to all, like, the top earners YouTubes. Like, that's all I listened to. I just flooded my mind because they knew what they were doing. Like, I wanted, if they were making that kind of money, I knew that I could make enough money to quit my job. And it did. It took 1 year of consistent work. And it wasn't that it wasn't, work 1 month and then stop working 1 month and then pick it back up. Like, it was consistent work for 1 solid year. And was it, always easy? No, but it was simple. And is it worth it now? Heck yes. I get to live the life of my dreams. So it's totally worth it. So
absolutely.
Okay, so in closing, is there anything that you want to share for anybody out there that's listening right now? What would you, anything, any advice, any tips that we didn't go over?
I don't know. So I guess for me, if I could share like my biggest tip, one of the things that I've learned as I've continued to be in this business, because I really believe that this business has different seasons in terms of, it's crazy because when I met with Cammie, she was telling me that was just the season that I was in. And I really believe that you have to, well, one, reevaluate your why with each rank that you hit. That's a big one for me. So you can't have the same why at executive as you did at Ruby, because your executive why is not going to get you to Ruby. Another thing is you have to find figure out what it is that you really want to do with this business. Like, real talk. When I was a Ruby, I was diamond. Like, my goal was diamond. And then after I went diamond and I got a new squad around me, my goal was presidential. Like, there was no, I just want to go double diamond. My vision was, I am presidential. Actually, it was ambassador, but it was presidential was my immediate goal. And as a result of presidential being my goal, I had vision. And as a result of my vision, people wanted to follow me because I knew where I was going. I was going to be a presidential. I wanted to be on the white couch. Like, I wanted, Show Me the Money was on my my dream board. Like, my trophy was on my dream board. And so you have to know where it is you're going, or people are not going to follow you. You have to be mindful that people are only going to take your business as serious as you take it. And so you can't hold your team accountable for something that you're not doing. If you don't get on the calls, you can't tell me to get on the call. Like, if you don't go to events, you can't tell me to get on the events, and you can't expect for your team to do the things that you're not doing. And as a result, you have a weak squad because they're looking at you thinking that what you're doing is okay, especially people who get online and still act like their business is awesome when really it's not, because you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. So find some type of vision when it comes to this business and where you really want to go. Like, where do you see yourself and why? And then that'll help you in terms of where you're going and give you the ammunition to get there. But personal development became like a huge part of me. I always realized that, and this is, somebody who has like over 20 personally enrolled diamonds, like, one thing that I realized is that you cannot, you can fight for something all you want, but if you're not ready for it, or you don't put yourself into a personally developed place, God will take it away. And I'm serious. I've had girls go double diamond and go all the way back down to Ruby because they didn't have the mindset to maintain those ranks. So put yourself in a position to where you're becoming a better you. Because if you don't become better, you're not going to be able to grasp these blessings that God is throwing in front of you. He's going to make the opportunity there. He's going to put you in a position to win, but you're not going to be able to sustain it because you don't have the mental capacity to do it. So always put yourself in a position of, I have to become better if I want to be Ambassador Diamond. I have to become better, because what are you going to do when you're at home full time? Like you think it's like awesome, amazing, but you have to have the discipline that you never even imagined that you had to have. Like you have to sit down and actually work your business. You have to get up. You have to go places. And as a result, are you going to do that now, or are you just used to somebody telling you every day you have to be at work at 8 o'clock? You know, are you going to have yourself programmed to where no, right, so you don't have to work, but you don't have to go to work, but you still have to get up and work. So think about it. Like, what is the ambassador mindset, and can you start working at that level now? I guess, and just to one last thing, when I was working before I went diamond, this was like a really big moment in my business. I had just went diamond, went to my first One Team One Mission, and Mike was there, and he was like, "Well, can all the diamonds stand up?" And he was like, "Woo, you know, great." And he was like, so you guys aren't working this business full time, right? Like you guys are kind of like a part-time, still kind of part-time in business and, doing it on your spare time. And all the girls, they were standing up, they were like, yeah, I'm still kind of part-time. I'm looking around like, no, like y'all tripping. Like, no, I work this business full time. And as a result, and I'm gonna be honest, none of those other people who stood up are top earners today, because even as a diamond, I worked this business every single day. I had this urgency with my business because I didn't just want diamond. I wanted something so much more than diamond could offer. I wanted my freedom. I wanted to be able to pay my bills and have money left over. Like, I wanted more. And so if you want more and you have that vision, then you'll get more. And so you have to have that vision in front of you.
Every time I talk to you, it's just like, just inspire me so much. And like, I think I got just as much out of this as anybody else did. And like, I am just so thankful for you. And I'm so thankful you took time out of your night to do this. And I know you're so preggo and probably so tired, but thank you for doing this. I know you inspired a lot of people, and I can't wait to post this for everybody who wasn't able to get on. So I appreciate you so much and love you to death.
You're welcome. Love you too, babe.
All right. Well, have a good night.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye.
What did you say? Oh, you said good night. Okay. Bye.